Times have been tough. It's been a very discouraging time for many people. So much uncertainty, so much death all over the place, so much suffering. But I want to tell you something. The best is yet to come. My name is Jesse Mwai, and thank you so much for tuning in to this brief time of fellowship with you as we consider an encouragement from the Word of God. And I'm going to read to us from the book of John, chapter 2, from verse 1, a wonderful story that is written for us and recorded for us. On the third day, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. Now, when the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." "Dear woman, why do you involve me?" Jesus replied, "My time has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. Now Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." They did so, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. Then he called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now." This, the first of his miraculous signs, Jesus performed at Cana in Galilee. He thus revealed his glory, and his disciples put their faith in him. The best is yet to come. See, friends, if there's one thing we can learn from this very, very first miracle that Jesus Christ did, is the fact that sometimes the wine will run out. In this world, the things that this world has to offer, whether it is money, whether it is comfort, whether it is the joys and the happiness of this world, the conveniences of this world, the wine will actually run out. And I think for many of us during this season, especially the past 1.5 years, I think we can attest to the fact that truly the wine has actually run out. There are some of you who never knew what it was to be broke without money. But now you have had a taste of it. There's some of you who never knew what it means to fight for your life. Now you know. There's some of you who probably took having a house to live, a place to stay for granted. Now you know what it means when that is actually threatened. In other words, sometimes in this life, every one of us will go through an experience and we will realize that truly the wine does run out. But there's something interesting about this particular story that we just read. See, Jesus comes into this wedding. He's been invited. His mother is there. His disciples are there. And up to this point, he has not yet performed any miracle. But then, while he's at the wedding, the wine actually runs out literally. His mother comes to him and says, "By the way, they have run out of wine." And Jesus, almost protesting, says, "What is that? How does that concern me? How is that any of my business?" But his mother knows better. The mother tells the servants, "Whatever he tells you to do, do it." And I think that's a word for somebody. Whatever the Lord tells you to do during this season, please do it, because your miracle and your breakthrough is in the doing whatever he has asked you to do. Jesus Christ instructs these servants, please fill the water jars with water. In other words, go and fetch some water, come and fill. There were 6 of them, those water jars. Now, we are told here in the scriptures that these were not small little jars of water. They were not just little basins. They contained from 20 to 30 gallons of water. Now, translations or translators tell us that could translate probably, given the historical facts about this particular jars, it could hold from anything from about 75 liters of water, maybe even to about 115 liters of water. So in other words, it was something that was actually sizable. It meant then to fill one water jar, the servants had to go probably about 3 or 4 trips Because in every one trip, probably you're carrying about maybe 15 or 20 liters of water. So to fill about 75 liters, you need about 2, 3, or even up to 4 trips. And by the remember, they did not have faucets, they did not have tap water, so they had to go to the well, go and fetch. It was a tiring effort, filling these 6 water jars. It must have taken some bit of time. It took some bit of energy, but they filled those jars with water. The servants did not complain. They did not ask questions. They were not wondering, you're telling us to fill them with water. What we have ran out of is wine, not water. What we need is wine, not water. They did not question. They just did it dutifully. They obeyed. And eventually, the Bible tells us, then Jesus gives them instructions. Once they were full to the brim. See, notice, Jesus waited until those jars were full. See, sometimes we have to keep doing what we are supposed to be doing. Sometimes it's hard. Every day you wake up, you have to go out there, work. You have to go out there, fight through traffic, get into that matatu, go into that office. Nobody is acknowledging you. Nobody says thank you. It is hard work. It is strenuous work. Sometimes you're asking, Lord, how long will I keep doing this? How long will I keep working in this organization? Or sometimes maybe you're laboring in prayer. And maybe you're at that place, maybe you're praying about this particular issue, this particular thing that has been disturbing you, and you've been praying for a month, you've been praying for years, and you've been probably wondering, Lord, even prayer is becoming difficult. It is hard work. Or probably in your marriage, you have been working at it, doing your best. But then your spouse is not appreciating. Your spouse is not paying attention. And then probably you're getting weary, you're getting tired and saying, Lord, I'm tired. I'm tired of loving somebody who doesn't love me back. I'm tired of doing so many things and this man doesn't even acknowledge it. And maybe you're feeling, I feel like it's about time to give up. You want to throw in that, or maybe it is your children. They are wearing you out. You pay school fees. You do everything for them, but they have not shown any sign of respect to you. They do not even acknowledge the efforts that you put in. And probably you're there, you're saying, this is so hard. This is so difficult. And everything just seems so tedious. Have you ever come to a point in your life where you felt that everything is just so tedious? See, somebody has said, the problem with life is that it is so everyday. Have you ever felt that, man, this is so hard? I wake up in the morning the same time every day. Tomorrow is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday, and it's the same thing. Come back home in the evening, and you almost feel like giving up. You almost feel like it is too much. Or maybe you've been waiting for a breakthrough, but you feel like it's just taking too long. These servants teach us something. They teach us obedience even when it doesn't make sense. They teach us keep laboring even when you're not seeing the fruit immediately. They teach us don't grow weary in doing good. Those servants could have probably halfway in the whole process could have said, me, I'm tired. I don't understand what this is all about. We were hoping for wine. This man keeps telling us to bring water. They could have given up, but thank God they did not give up. And thank God for you that you're not going to give up. God is going to give you grace. Thank God they continued until those jars were full. The Bible says, full to the brim. See, there is always coming a time when the miracle is ripe. And that time is only God knows. But as you keep laboring, what you do not know is that somewhere in the spiritual realms, you are filling your water jars. It is filling up on a daily. Please don't give up. Sometimes people give up just before the water jar is full, just before it is filled to the brim. Thankfully, they filled, and Jesus waited. He was not in a hurry. How many of you know that God is never in a hurry? See, God doesn't work according to my timeline. God works according to his divine timeline. He waited until they had filled the water jars. Then he sends the servants and says, please go and fetch some of that water. Take it to the master of ceremony. Take it to the master of the banquet. Now listen, this story is amazing because we do not know at what point the miracle happened. We do not know because as far as we know, maybe this guy, when they went to fetch this water to take it to the master of the banquet, Maybe it was still water. I don't know. I don't know whether it was in the process of the fetching, whether it was while he was making his way, or probably the miracle happened when the master of the banquet took the first sip. We don't know when the miracle, but the miracle happened, because when the master of the banquet tasted this thing, he said, wow, I have never tasted better wine than this. Notice, he runs to the groom and to report his findings. Remember, the groom, he knows that they have run out of wine. He comes and tells, the master of banquet comes and tells the bridegroom, listen, you know, normally, this is what happens in a normal scenario, that people normally bring out, you know, the good wine first. You know, in a scenario like this one, they normally bring out the good wine. And then when people have had a little too much and they couldn't care less about the quality of the wine, then we bring out the cheap stuff. They cannot tell the difference when they're already a bit excited and a bit high. But he said, but you have waited and you have only brought out the best. You know, lastly, you have waited and you have brought to us, you have given to us. You have waited until this last moment to give us the best wine. In other words, you have changed the way we do things. You have changed the equation. You have changed the game. And this master of the banquet was so mesmerized. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, during this season, maybe we were used to things happening in a certain way, in a certain sequence. I want to encourage you. God is doing something behind the scenes. Keep labor. Don't you dare give up. Because somewhere in your labor, somewhere in your obedience, not in your disobedience, in your obedience, a miracle, a breakthrough will happen. You do not know when things will just fit into place. You do not know when that miracle will just break forth into your life. But here's a good thing. When that breakthrough finally comes, when that miracle finally happens, it will change the whole paradigm. It will be a game changer. It will change your life. You are probably used to doing things in a certain way. Maybe you are used to looking in a certain direction for help. But when it happens, when that time comes, it will change your whole paradigm, your whole understanding. Why? Because the best is yet to come. The wine may have run out in your life. Good things may have come to an end in your life. But the best is yet to come. There is a reason why God allows us to go through certain situations. It is so that He can have an opportunity to come into that situation. The best is yet to come. But for your consideration, before we finish, I need you to think with me. This was the first of the miracles that Jesus did. Now, you have to agree with me that wine or running out of wine is hardly a crisis. It is hardly a crisis at the same level as somebody maybe dying or somebody getting sick, or, you know, it's hardly at the same level as where somebody has run out of food. You know, it would have been a different thing if they had run out of food in the banquet. Nobody has ever died because they did not have wine. I mean, it's not a crisis. Wine actually is a luxury drink. It's not even water. We can live without wine. It was a luxury drink. Yet Jesus chooses to perform his first miracle. His first miracle is not raising somebody from the dead, as powerful as that is. His first miracle had nothing to do with healing somebody who was sick or opening the eyes of a blind man. His first miracle, imagine, was changing water into wine. Something that hardly constitutes a crisis or a life crisis. To teach us, friends, that he came into this world so that we may have life and have it more abundantly. In other words, God is also concerned that I enjoy the life that he has given me. God did not give us life to endure it. He gave us life to enjoy it. He gave us life so that we may enjoy the things that he has blessed us with. The creation, the blessings that he pours into our lives. But this miracle is strategic to teach us that the old order of things has come to pass. But with the coming of Jesus, he brings joy, he brings peace, he brings laughter, and he causes us to enjoy the life that he has given to us. The best is yet to come. Listen, friends, this pandemic has robbed so many people of their joy and their peace. We don't know when it's going to come to an end. It's been a tough season. It's been a roller coaster. One time the numbers have gone down, another time another wave has come on. And sometimes some people are even despairing even unto life itself. But please don't you dare give up. Keep doing, keep living. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. Keep going to that office. Keep going to that business. Why? Because the best is yet to come. Something good will come out of this crisis, out of this pandemic. Hold on, hang in there. The miracle is coming. But that miracle, that breakthrough, is only a reserve of those who will keep filling their water jars. Even when it doesn't make sense, keep filling those water jars. Even when you feel like giving up, please keep filling your water jar. Don't you dare give up. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you. May my Lord be gracious to you. May he give you grace to keep on keeping on. Keep going, because the best is yet to come. God bless you.